Here's something that surprises a lot of people when they first hear it. The production sharing contract, or PSC, the upstream contract model used by oil producing nations around the world, was invented here in Indonesia in 1966. The rest of the world copied it. So let's talk about what it actually is and how it works today. I'm Tommy Jamail, 30 years in Indonesia's energy sector. This is video 4 of Indonesia Energy Explained. We covered SKK Migas in the last video. Today, we're going to go into the commercial and legal framework that it sits underneath and all of that, the production sharing contract, or PSC. This is the foundation for every upstream deal in Indonesia. You need to understand it. So, what is a PSC? At its core, it's the legal mechanism through which the Indonesian government gives the K3S the right to explore for and produce oil and gas in a defined area for a defined period of time. And here's the word that matters the most in that sentence: gives. Not sells, not transfers, gives, as in grants the right to work. The oil and gas in the ground belongs to the Indonesian state. What the K3S gets is the right to go in, explore, drill, and produce. And in exchange for that work, putting up the capital, the technology, and the operational capacity, they get a share of what comes out. That's the deal. State owns the resources, contractor does the work, both share the output. Now, how does the government actually collect its share? Production gets split between the government and the K3S according to the terms that are written in the contract. The split can vary. It depends on the contract type, whether you're talking about oil or gas, and a range of other factors. Right now, Indonesia has two contract models in play. One, cost recovery. That is the older model where the K3S recovers operating costs from production before the split gets calculated. The other is gross split. That was introduced in 2017, where the split happens at the gross level before any cost deductions. We'll go deep on both those in the next video, but for now, just understand that both these models here exist to serve the same purpose, making sure that the Indonesian state gets its share of the country's natural resources and wealth. And in both cases, SKK Migas is the government's representative throughout the whole process. They're not just sitting in the background. They're actively involved monitoring compliance, approving programs, and making sure that contract terms are being met. So for investors and operators, here's what the PSC framework tells you immediately. The government controls the resources. SKK Migas controls the approval process. And your contract, whether it's cost recovery or gross split, that right there determines exactly how the revenue flows. The PSC regime has evolved significantly over the years. Terms change, models change, the regulatory environment shift. Staying current on it is not optional, it's a baseline. Indonesia invented the model. 60 years later, it is still the foundation of every upstream deal in the country. Everything in this series is based on publicly available Indonesian government rules and regulations. This is not legal advice, it's not tax advice, and it's not investment advice. If this was useful, do me a favor and hit the like button, subscribe, and do stay with me. If you have any other further inquiries, you can email me at tommy@jamail.id, jamail.id. Next video, cost recovery versus gross split. Two models, one framework. What's the difference? Why did Indonesia introduce the gross split? And what does it mean for operators and investors today? See you there, and thank you for watching.